court pleases, my name is Hudson Levine and I act on behalf of the Director of Public Prosecutions. In January 2020, Susie Cheng, an innocent 20-year-old woman, sustained a stab wound and what would become an ongoing mental health issue for no reason other than being involved with the same young man as the offender. She was attacked by an unprovoked Kiara who was under the influence of methamphetamine at the time. Kiara was in possession of a penknife at the time, and subsequently Susie sustained a stab wound. Kiara was charged with causing injury intentionally, and since that date, Susie requires ongoing therapy to address trauma and humiliation. As prescribed by Section 5(2) of the Sentencing Act, in sentencing Kiara, the court must have regard to the aggravating and mitigating circumstances surrounding the offence. As the prosecution, I acknowledge and have taken into account the mitigating circumstances surrounding Kiara's offence. It is duly noted that Kiara suffers from a psychological disability, potentially rendering her illegal actions as unauthentic. Kiara has also actively addressed her mental health by becoming involved in the NDIS. It is acknowledged that a prison sentence may impede on her recovery provided by the NDIS service. It is also noted Kiara pleaded guilty at a relatively early stage, and we acknowledge this points to her remorse. However, these redeeming circumstances cannot retract from the aggravating factors overwhelming the offence. In light of the sentencing principles underpinning our criminal law system, I direct the court to consider. Kiara was in possession of a weapon, a penknife, at the time of the offence and unnecessarily provoked the altercation in the first place. Hence, considering these circumstances, denunciation of the offence is necessary to censure the respectively dangerous and unwarranted conduct of the offence. With respect to the offender, Kiara has in the past committed a largely similar offence to the one at hand, for which she received a fine. This punishment was also exercised to address the various other offences she has committed in the past. Clearly, therefore, this has not been an adequate form of deterrence for Kiara. Hence, the court should place emphasis on specific deterrence to ensure Kiara is conclusively deterred from recidivism. It should be emphasised that this offence, like the many it preceded, was committed whilst Kiara was under the influence of drug abuse. Hence, there is reason to believe that drug abuse has acted as an enduring cause for her offence. For this reason, the rehabilitative effects of the offence of the sentence should be prioritised as to offer a more permanent solution from Kiara reoffending. Furthermore, clearly the actions of Kiara have significantly hindered the victim's well-being. Physically, Susie sustained injury, and mentally, she suffers from humiliation and seemingly debilitating anxiety, which she requires ongoing therapy to address. Hence, this offence warrants a just punishment, which reflects the adverse impact it has had on the victim. Considering these circumstances, the prosecution puts forward the following sentence it believes will effectively address all the aforementioned sentencing principles. Firstly, a conviction, and secondly, a combined order of 1 year imprisonment followed by a 2-year community corrections order with the attached conditions, mandatory rehabilitation for drug use, and the requirement to undertake ongoing mental health treatment.